Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with Donald Wills for another film discussion. And today we are going to be talking about the Hangover trilogy. Ain't that right?
Woohoo!
Donald Wills. Hi, Donald.
What's up?
Hey. And you have not seen these movies before, have you?
I have not. This is my first time viewing all three of them.
Okay, good, good. So your cherry has been broken with the Hangover movies. That's good. This is probably like my sixth time watching each one. It is my favorite film trilogy, and probably some of
Okay.
my favorite comedies. And as you pointed out before we started, these films would not fly today.
No, they would not.
No, they
No,
would
they
not.
would not.
But I would not be surprised if at some point they announced a remake or reboot with an all female cast of diverse, strong women, and it would be god awful. So,
It would be just like Ghostbusters. Was it Answer the Call?
oh yeah, or just Ghostbusters 2016. Then this could be like The Hangover 2025 or whenever it got released. Though that's how they would have to refer to is with the date. Because it's got some of the best dialogue. I love the lines in here, and I even have quotes up.
Hmm.
I have I put up a meme once in an argument with somebody, and it's Alan in the car from the first film saying um, he's a retard, and I love that he says retard, and if they point out no, it's retard, and he goes retard. And so it was a little meme with that on it, like a little word bubble. Man, did people get offended by that? And it's just like, okay, it's from the movie. It's funny. I mean, I thought it was hilarious. I mean, they even give him a really weird look. And uh
Like, do you even know what you're talking about?
yeah, I mean it's I think it's hilarious. It's funny as this I love this series as much as I hate it. And which is weird to say because they're all so unlikable, but I love them at the same time. Uh, um, Alan gets worse from film to film. I mean, he
Yes.
murders a
Yes.
giraffe in the third movie, and he's completely insufferable. And
Peter would not be happy about that.
no, they wouldn't. And the giraffe was very self-aware that its head was about to get decapitated, so it looked pretty
I seen
shocked
that
when
coming a mile away. I
yeah.
seen the videos you sent me. I watched some of them before. I watched two and three, so I seen the giraffe scene. I didn't see the part where he got his head cut off with the giraffe from the
Like the
overpass.
overpass,
But
yeah.
yeah, but I was like, watch. I was like, I was calling it from like the very beginning. I'm like, giraffe's head's gonna get cut off. Just watch. Sure enough, that's what happens.
Yeah, and it's poor Stu. Each one just gets worse for Stu. And you think it's bad when he gets the Tyson tattoo, which I thought was hilarious. But that
You need to get that
he
removed.
yeah, said by Tyson, which is hilarious.
Tyson or Mike
And
Tyson.
so I'm going to put a warning on this to very sensitive, soft people that these films are very politically incorrect. We are going to be quoting from them and talking about scenes, and some of this stuff, like you said, like would not fly today.
Yeah.
So if you're, easily offended, and get triggered, then maybe
Look
don't.
away.
Yeah, don't
Click
watch
away.
this
Go to another video.
because my favorite line of dialogue, and I think it is absolutely hilarious and it is timed perfectly, is from the first film where Stu is talking to his angry bitch of a girlfriend who I had flashbacks of because I call her the evil one. I dated her for 3 years and she was exactly like this. I mean, it was weird in the theater where I saw it at a preview like a year before it came out. And I it actually, my stomach got a little bit in knots of how close this was. But Stu and her are sitting by a window, and she's talking about, of course, about him maybe going to a strip club, and well, that stripper's some father's daughter, and it's disgusting how they're grinding up against you, and she's completely ripping on this whole thing, and Stu is agreeing with her just not to get into a fight, which is what I used to do. And then but then he does talk about how his friends are mature, you just have to get to know them better. And of course, right as he's saying that, the car pulls up, and then you just hear, from outside, paging Dr. Faggot, Dr. Faggot, paging Dr. Faggot. And I laugh, and I've seen these films 6 times, and I laugh every time that happens because it's one shot, it's perfectly timed, and then she just, and then, Stu's like, I guess I better go. And she's like, yes, I guess you should, Dr. Faggot. And I think it's hilarious. I think it is one of the funniest one shot like scenes that
Mm-hmm.
I've ever seen. And
Yeah.
it's done perfectly. And of course, I have I did then and I still now have my little man crush on Bradley Cooper. So he just does it perfectly. And I just think it's hilarious. And I don't care what people say. Um, some of the worst things can happen, especially to Stu. And
Especially in the
it,
second movie.
yeah,
I think
that's
the second one's the worst, man. I gotta say,
yeah. You think it starts off bad, like I started to mention with the Tyson tattoo, but then it only goes downhill from
escalates
there.
and escalates.
Yeah, I mean, it is so awful to see what happens to him. And just to put it out there, there is no Hangover suite. There it does not exist at Caesars. It is a set, and that floor does not exist. So when I went there once,
False advertising.
I know I asked them. I said, do people come in asking for the Hangover suite? And they said, yeah. And I'm like, well, is there anything like that? And they're like, no, it doesn't exist. So either they just don't want to let you know that it's there, or it doesn't exist. But if you've seen any behind the scenes stuff, that's all the windows are green screened, and there's a lot of green screen on this movie.
Yeah,
So a good
I,
portion of this is not shot in Las Vegas. The outside
but
stuff is.
I will say though, even though it was green, I didn't know you just said it, that it was green screened. So they did a pretty good job with it. I mean, some movies you can
Yeah.
kind of tell. I mean, maybe if I was looking close enough, maybe now that I know it, I'll point it out. I could probably pick it out now, but not knowing that beforehand, I didn't even notice. So they did a good job there.
Yeah, and it's interesting is I know exterior wise, I know a lot of those locations where they went to. I've driven past them, or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. So that's pretty fun, especially like the chapel and stuff that they go to. I've driven past that a few times. And but and location wise, as far as from here to there type of thing, it actually does make sense of how they cut it in a way. Unlike Con Air, where the strip doesn't make sense when the plane crashes at the end. Um, and then there's also Domino, which is the Tony Scott movie where the stratosphere crashes, well, because they're having a big battle inside of it, and that never happened, even though it's based on a true story. Um, there's weird stuff like that, but this actually does kind of make sense a little bit.
Okay.
Um, do you want to go first and show off your stuff?
I basically just got the trilogy on Blu-ray, so I'll just go ahead. What do you got? Do you have like a more than that, or
I have the DVDs. What does your Blu-rays look like? Are they like separate? Are they all together?
they're separate?
Okay, let's see. What do they look like?
So I got the Hangover,
Okay.
This is with the unrated version.
Yeah, unrated version and the unrated pictures.
Yes. So there's
So,
that.
okay.
And it does come with the slipcover.
Nice.
So the whole reason I bought this eBay lot.
Oh, you got it all together off of eBay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Got the Hangover Part 2, also with the
Nice.
slipcover.
Nice. Okay, good. Like that.
And then the Hangover Part 3, sadly with no slipcover.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I'm just
So,
messing with you. There's a slipcover.
oh man, good. You got slipcovers for everything. So
Yeah.
that's good.
The only problem is a little damaged right there, but that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as I can, as long as they all got slipcovers at this point, that's
Right.
like pretty much all I care about.
Well,
Just a little thing. I'll be honest with you. I will go out of my way to find if I know a movie has a slipcover and I know it's part of a series. I will go out of my way to find that slipcover.
I and I'm exactly the same way as you are. Whenever I look for stuff on eBay, I always type in the title
Mm-hmm.
plus slipcover, and and
I
and
mean,
and I will get it.
because I mean, for those of you watching at home, probably don't really care, but for me and my OCD brain, this will bothers the crap out of me.
Well,
Seeing
you're
no
you're about to
slipcover.
see something that's going to bother you because it bothers me too. So, and I completely understand what you're saying. So it's
So it's like, ugh. I actually, funny thing is, I went out of my way to find the It miniseries slipcover just because it was the only one I had that didn't have a slipcover.
I have I own a lot of the DC superhero stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like slipcover, 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 no slipcover, 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 slipcover. And the no slipcover was Aquaman. I bought that later for some reason. And it bothered me so much. I just found the slipcover on eBay. Somebody was just selling only the slipcover. And so I
Yeah,
bought that for like, I think it came out to be like $5 with shipping and handling and everything. So
yeah.
yeah,
I,
I went out
I
of my
spent
way
up to like
too.
$10 on it. I Funny thing is, when Wonder Woman 1984 came out, I bought it used
The only
only
way
because
you
I'm a
should,
completionist.
if you do, I bought it
Well,
myself. Yeah.
it's a terrible
I
movie. It sucks.
I just bought it because I watched this guy Willem, um, Patrick H. Willem is his name, and he does these videos that I really like. Like he's an indie guy that loves studio movies, so he
Okay.
loves Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, Michael Bay, and he did a whole video on Zack Schneider.
Mm-hmm.
So he was talking about the Zack Schneider like DC universe and all of that, and I realized, oh, I have every single one except Wonder Woman 1984.
And the
Order
sad thing
with
about this,
slipcover. So I
I
just ordered
don't
it.
have the slipcover to that, and I might be able to find it today, but at the time, I couldn't find the slipcover anywhere. Like, nobody was selling the slipcover on eBay, so I'm still behind on that.
Yeah, it's. I figured if I could find a good copy of it cheap with the slipcover, I would purchase it, even though I thought it was one of the worst superhero movies ever made.
Yeah,
But it
I
does
agree.
complete the universe.
Yeah,
So, and I do own the Flash, which is not part of his universe, but fuck it. All right, I might as well get Wonder Woman 1984 too. So, so mine are similar, except that they're all DVD, because I bought
okay,
them when they came out.
okay.
So I do to have the same, basically the same cover, except
Mm-hmm.
my plastic had that sticker on it that said like more photos,
Mm-hmm.
and I probably should have taken it off and stuck it to this. But this is a two
I
disc
gotcha.
digital copy, special edition. I find it funny that they can't use the Las Vegas sign because it's copyrighted. So they had to make up one, drive safely and visit again type of thing. Um,
Okay, I can't even see if that's on mine. Oh, okay, yeah, it's the same thing.
yeah, I guess they just didn't own the rights to it. And I think mine has the same back as yours does. It's got like the tiger and everything.
No, mine only has this one lonely picture.
Oh wow. Okay. So we're different on that. All right. And this is during those days where they put in that extra disc. That's
Okay.
so this is like a digital one here, but then
Oh, the
here's
digital disc.
like the digital
The
hard copy. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's got the theatrical version and special features, while this is the unrated version of it.
Okay.
So
I still never understood how those digital copy DVDs work. I never could get them to work, so I just gave up.
I've never tried. I just want a complete package. So I
Yeah.
just, you know, and now this is where we get into some difference here. My Hangover 2 looks like this,
Okay.
which and what does yours look like again? Because yours is different. Which one do you like better? I kind of like this one better. I like that they're all like burnt out and the monkey's just on Phil's back.
Um, I kind of like both of them. Well, mine has
I mean, I like both of them too.
everyone's buddy Chow.
Oh, you got Chow. I love Chow. Chow's not in this. Yeah. Okay. So each one gets less. Like this one, like the original one has hilarious gag reel. The Dan Band performs Fame, Kim Jong's nonstop hilarious improv, and other hilarious extras. And it's theatrical and unrated. This simply just has gag reel. That's it. There's nothing else, just gag reel.
Okay, is that that's the special features?
Yeah.
All right, you might want to get the Blu-ray because the Blu-ray has an unauthorized documentary, the comedy rhythm of Todd Phillips, not your everyday monkey. So I'm just talking about the monk, how they used the monkey on set, and Bangkok tour with Chow,
Oh
taking a
man.
politically incorrect tour with the legendary Mr. Chow.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I interviewed a film director for one filmmaker whose
Mm-hmm.
his name is When Chaos. It's shortened. He goes by shortened because it's a very long last name.
Yeah.
But he did he's from Thailand and he only made one American movie out here, which was Ballistic,
Mm-hmm.
X versus Sever, and which I friggin' love. And
Yeah.
so I interviewed him, and one of the first questions I asked was about Hangover 2. Like how do you feel, with them representing Thailand in like the worst way possible? And so he I think he talked for about 20 minutes on it. And a lot of people he knows worked on this because they were like Thai crews.
Oh, okay.
So, but he was happy to see Thailand represented. He was happy to see his friends getting work, but wasn't happy with how it
How
was.
how they how they kind of represented them.
Yeah, because he's made like 10 movies and like nine of them are in Thailand. And
Mm.
Thailand looks beautiful. I mean, like every place has its
Yeah.
shitty areas. But oh, and if you notice, this does not have
Really?
a
I
slip cover.
mean, Thailand was kind of like the beautiful place. It was more Bangkok that they kind of made look more like trashy and all that.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
it's Bangkok. You get
so there
lost
you
in
go. I mean,
Bangkok.
Thailand looked in the movie looked beautiful. They were all they showed was like the beautiful landscapes and all that.
Yeah,
So
like
they
where the
didn't really
wedding was
like
taking place. Yeah.
yeah. So they didn't really like put down Thailand. I mean, the only part that may have got a little offensive is when Alan, right at the end of the movie, goes, "Hello, thank you for allowing us white people to be part of your land." Like, what? You moron.
Yeah, and like there's no this did not come with a slipcover.
I actually
Which
do have. I got that copy originally. I had the Hangover Part Two before I even watched any of them. That's why I didn't watch it because I don't like to watch movies out of order. So
well,
I did have that on DVD. So think I may have that exact copy.
yeah, it's annoying that they didn't do it. But then with part three, and my cover is different, and I like yours better.
Yeah, I kind of makes them look like they're on a mission, man.
Well, he has a shovel
Hmm.
and a crowbar. And does Alan have anything? And they're in suits. Like it's kind of like a mafia, like we're gonna go kill and bury somebody, and that's what doesn't happen in the movie.
And this is actually, if you look close to the background, it's actually there's Caesar's Palace back there. So they're walking in Vegas right now,
So I
which
like
makes no
yeah.
sense because they're trying to chase him down in that scene.
What you got to put? What about your back? Does this look any different? They're like
I
screaming and
think yours is pretty much the same.
yeah, same picture. Yeah, they just yeah. And this one does have special features on it, but once again, it's one of those two discs
Okay.
where it's the movie even says movie and then special features.
Okay.
So I don't know why they just couldn't fit them all onto one movie. I mean, it's not like the film's 5 hours long.
No. But what special features do you have?
Um, there's more than this. It does say replacing Zach, the secret auditions,
Okay.
the Wolfpack's wildest stunts, pushing the limits, inside focus, the real Chow, and much more, including extended scenes and outtakes.
So the DVD has pretty much exactly what the Blu-ray has. So I don't think you're missing maybe much of anything. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that.
Okay. I'll have to look at getting what you have at least the first one. I know that there's a single collection that has the picture of Alan in the middle and there on the sides he's in a chair and it just says the Hangover Trilogy and it's
Yeah,
three Blu-rays all together.
that's
Um
that might be the picture where I got from for the thumbnail.
for the thumb it is.
Okay.
So um So you know what I want to do, if you don't mind? I wouldn't
Go ahead.
mind doing reviews right now. So then maybe we could discuss why we review, why we ranked them the way that we did.
Okay.
So what do you want to go first?
Sure. What do we want? You want to rank them,
We
or
can we'll rank and then if our ranking is different from each other's, we'll explain why it's different from each other's. Like we'll kind of like review and explain. Does that work?
okay? Well, mine's pretty simple.
Okay.
Um, I liked all three movies. I think all of them were great, but one of them has to be on the bottom.
Sure.
So for number three is going to be part two.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Number two is going to be part three.
Okay.
Number one is going to be the original.
Okay. Okay. So, um, this is going to be weird. So, my favorite is number two.
Okay.
My next one would be number three. And then my next one would be number one, is my least favorite, even though I love them
Number
all.
one's your least favorite. So
Number one would be number three. So, two would be number
you're pretty
one.
much like opposite of me.
Yes. So,
Okay. Okay.
why did you rank yours in the order that you did?
Well, with the first one, I liked the first one. The second one felt very much like it was trying to just redo the first one. Like it was just trying to be like a blank copy and paste more than it was trying to be like different. The third one I actually tried to do something a little bit different, even though people didn't seem to like that they did something different. But I mean, if you got, I mean, I'm pretty sure they would have been complaining if they did the same movie all three times, if you know what I mean. So I kind of like that the third one just kind of like went did its own thing, but still being somewhat loyal to the to the to the to the characters and all that.
Okay.
So that's right. But I enjoyed all three of them though. So
Okay. So I like part two the most because one, I think the film is beautifully shot.
yes,
I like its locations. I like that it looks different than the first film and that it has a very burnt, almost kind of orange golden look to it.
okay.
I like that they're in Bangkok, and yeah, there is that kind of underbelly type feel for Bangkok, and then Thailand looks beautiful with the trees and the ocean and everything.
Yeah,
Um, I I like the monkey, which is of course replacing the baby. And then
I
I like
thought
Chow.
the monkey was like kind of being in place of the tiger from the first movie, and the old guy is kind of like
Yeah, I
taking over.
guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the monk could be the baby, and the yeah, and the monkey could be the tiger. Sure,
Yeah,
but then you could flip that and say that the monk is the tiger because they have to get the tiger. They have to get the monk back, like they did the tiger, and then
and then
and
there's
then
the
the
old man.
monkey
Then
is
there's the
just
old monk. That's kind of like the baby almost because they gotta take care of him. They can't. And even what's Bradley Cooper? Probably what's his name?
a
I'm
Bradley
blanking.
Cooper. Bradley Cooper is, oh my god, I've seen these six
What's his
times,
name?
and
I'm
how
blanking on his name.
and how am I forgetting this right now? Phil.
Yeah. Okay. In both movies, he always said, "Just I'll just leave the baby. Just leave the old man. We'll be fine." And they're like, "We
Well,
can't just leave him here."
well, and the baby and the monk Alan does the masturbation thing with. So that's
That
so
would
you.
not fly today. I'm telling you, that joke would not fly today.
Everybody was laughing.
I
Everybody was laughing.
know everyone's laughing, but I'm just saying today it would not fly.
No, no, it wouldn't. So I think that you could go both ways and all ways. Baby
Mm-hmm.
is monk, baby is tiger, monk
Mm-hmm.
is baby, monk is tiger. You could
Yeah,
go, yeah, you could go
pretty
both
much.
ways on that. I I think the stuff that I love the Tyson tattoo
Yeah.
that Phil gets, and I the stuff that and sorry people if you get offended easily, but Phil being fucked in the ass by a trans stripper and having the trans stripper come in him is, and their reactions are hilarious when they find out that they're in a like a trans strip club, and she, you know, it because I don't think that you I don't think when I originally saw this I realized that she was a dude. So I think that they got people who looked.
I think I may have been spoiled on that one. I think I've seen some of the jokes without seeing the movies before. So like from people like referencing it or like using clips in YouTube videos, I probably have seen. I think I've had that part spoiled.
Yeah, and what I like is, of course, we see at the end the photos of Phil enjoying it and crying at the same time, but it's of just how like romantic and beautiful the trans stripper makes it all out to be, while all of them are practically throwing up. So it's but it was beautiful. We made love. You cried, and he's like, oh, oh. And I thought that stuff was hilarious. I could live without the whole thing with the machine gun in the club. When Alan's like, "Oh, it looks so real," and then he fires it off. I just don't know why he just does this type of shit. I even did
Because
look
he's
up,
supposed to be a moron. I mean, basically, he's the comedy relief character.
but he's not stupid. There's like
He
just something
acts. I
mentally
think
wrong with him, like he's a sociopath or something.
he has this how do I say this without sounding mean to people that are like this? I know people like this where you'll do something and then they'll turn around and basically just mess up what you just did without even thinking about it. Like for example, I had a friend of mine when his dad was moving, so we were helping him, and his dad just cleaned out uh, um, the basket for the air fryer, and then right after he sets it in the drain, his son comes over, picks it up, and puts it back in the oil. It's like it is, and I'm seeing like that's kind of what Alan's doing. You know, he does
Ah,
these things thinking he's helping, but he's really not. But he
I
thinks in his mind that he's being a help. He's being, helpful and all that.
Man, you got a completely different interpretation of him than I do. I mean, I think he's just like a psychotic sociopath. Like there's something mentally wrong with this guy that
Well, that's pretty much what
you
it
know,
is. I mean, he's in the third movie really touches on it a lot more. I mean, he's
but he doesn't
got
even care that he kills the giraffe. He doesn't give a shit.
yeah. I mean, he doesn't even care that he kind of killed his dad.
He didn't kind of kill his dad. He gave him
I
a heart
mean,
attack.
he doesn't understand that he
And then he
killed his.
takes a
That's
selfie of himself with the picture at the at the you know at the when they're at the funeral, and here's my biggest problem with part two. And I don't think Alan should have done anything with drugging them. I don't think that. I think it should have been the brother. It should have been
um,
what's the brother's name?
Kenny? No,
Sid, Chow, Doug, Tracy.
Kenny?
uh,
Maybe no.
Is it Kenny?
Dude, I just watched these
Oh no,
movies.
no, Teddy.
Teddy.
So I think it should have been Teddy. I think that they should have blamed Alan. He's, because of the first film, he keeps swearing to God like he does. He had nothing to do with this. And then at the end, and they keep blaming him, assuming that it's him and that he's lying. And then when we find Teddy, he's like, "Oh, you guys ate the marshmallows." And that he's the one who brought the marshmallows. And they're like, "What?" And then we find out that Teddy is so tired of his dad putting him on this pedestal, making him this perfect person, having
Mm-hmm.
him, you know, learn, instruments and be a doctor at his age and not having any sort of life whatsoever. And that he felt
Yeah.
that this was the first time that he could cut loose. Obviously not realizing his finger and stuff would get cut off, but he just wanted to party. And he knew that this would probably be it. And so
Well,
I think it was a huge mistake
well,
having Alan do
technically,
it.
if you remember, Alan didn't intend for them to get drugged. He did it for Teddy. He wanted to drug Teddy so they could just go do whatever they wanted to do.
Right,
And
but
then when
still,
he threw
why?
the marshmallows, he got it mixed up, and he's like, "Oh, well, which one's which?"
But even in the first film, Alan just thought that they would just, that they were like shrooms. Oh no,
Like
no, no. He
ecstasy
thought
or whatever.
not shrooms. He thought they were
Ecstasy.
ecstasy,
Yeah,
and instead it ended up being roofies. So it's the same type of thing,
yeah.
but it's I just don't think Alan should have been part of that at all. I don't understand Alan's dislike for Teddy unless he feels threatened, like he's going to get kicked out of the group. and they're
pretty
gonna
much
bring
what I think. That's how I kind of interpreted. Like
yeah.
he doesn't he's the type person that, hey, there's four people in the wolf pack. There can't be a fifth person. It's just, he doesn't like change. Is what it is.
Well, nobody said that. Pardon me, nobody said that Teddy was gonna be part of the wolf pack.
Nobody
He,
said that, but that's what he's feeling. So in a way, yes, he's feeling threatened that they're gonna kick that they're gonna like be Teddy's friend and not his. So that's what I'm kind of interpreting as.
yeah, I mean,
And again, that's in the third movie. It makes sense because they go into more of his mental problems. You know, like what is his? I mean, they don't really say what he has, but you know, people that act like that do have this tendency to like, hey, you know, like it's all about me. You know, I don't care what you think. I just want it done my way, not your way. Or I don't like change and all that. You know what I'm saying?
well, yeah, because he's I mean, even though some of the lines that he mentions, like in part two with Teddy, when he's like, have you do you know who Doogie Howser is? And he's like, yeah, and he goes, well, he turned out to be a gay, and which I love because it's a gay, not just he turned out to be gay, he turned out to be a gay, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Um,
I think it was his way of trying to call him gay without actually calling him gay.
yeah, and it gets to that, and then he does something, like nice at the end, and then he gets Tyson to come down and sing at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then plus hang out with Tyson. So it's that's why I kind of have like a love hate relationship with this trilogy, even though it's my favorite trilogy. I can watch it every single time, but Alan does drive me nuts, and I like that Phil doesn't give a shit most of the time. Like he just doesn't care. Like he'll like with the masturbating baby, he'll laugh and then go, "Come on, man, get a hold of yourself." He'll laugh and then be like, "Okay, let's be serious."
Mm-hmm.
Stu kind of does the same thing, but it's I like that Phil steals all the money from his students to go onto a field trip, so just so he could use it to go to Vegas. So it's
Which we never hear anything about that. Like, did he get reprimanded or anything like that for that? You know what I mean? Like, did he get fired for that? I don't know.
no, he just took it. Maybe he just borrowed it and then replaced it later on. I do like that Phil's wife is Jack from Jack in a Box's wife. Have you ever seen those commercials for Jack in a
I
Box? And
don't.
they're the late night adult Jack in a Box commercials, where basically, Jack with the big clown head is like
Yeah, I
about to
know.
fuck.
I know. It was a restaurant, right? Like
Yeah, it's a
a
yeah fast food restaurant.
fast food. That's what I thought. Man.
You don't
I
have
don't.
Jack in a Box
We
out by
don't
you?
have Jack Box around here, unfortunately.
Really? I thought Jack in the
No.
Box was everywhere. Well, it's he's a regular guy normally in a suit, and he has the big head that
Mm-hmm.
kind of looks like a uh it's like a white ball, and it has like a clown hat, and it's got like the long nose and black eyes, and his mouth
Okay.
doesn't move, but
I
from
think
shot to
I've
shot,
seen like some of the commercials, but we don't have any around our area.
man, that's
We
unfortunate.
don't
It's
have
one
a
of my
lot of stuff around here. We don't.
man.
We're lucky we got five guys here. We got one five guys here. That's all we got. We
Jeez.
we just now got a Chipotle up here.
Okay.
We just now got one. So
You finally got your very first, like what is it, like Atari, where you can do Pong? That's like brand new to you guys. That's like futuristic. You're doing Pong. So, but these
pretty
commercial,
much.
yeah, But these commercials with Jack's wife are all very adult because that was their thing, is that they kind of changed their logo and their colors and stuff to be more night while McDonald's was day. And
Mhm.
it was all about fucking his wife. And I always thought that she was really hot, and she plays Phil's wife. So and I always like seeing people on commercials like that, actually get bigger roles, especially in
Yeah.
movies.
Mm.
So it's I I think the stuff with Phil's fiance, who's absolutely gorgeous, and I think that her dad is a major dick, but he does come around at the end.
Yeah.
So which is nice.
Needs to.
I like that Teddy does lose a finger. Um, but but it being kind of a retread of the first one, I don't mind. I just think that they kind of did it better
Okay.
in a way, because in with the first Hangover movie, I posted a picture of the films, and a friend of mine, Hugo, goes, "Why don't they just go check the security cameras?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess they could have if they sat there and said, unless you want to use the excuse of they don't want anybody looking at cameras because then they would know what the room looks like, and they're trying to get out of there before like the maid shows up. That's what Phil wants. But
But then
yeah,
again,
why not
if
just go
they
look at
just
cameras?
checked the security cameras, then we wouldn't have much of a movie, would we?
No, so you kind of have to ignore that, which I guess is a good thing that, you know, um, Doug, that his cell phone is left in the room.
There you go.
So I do like the beginning of part two, even though it's the beginning of part one. I actually like it a little better. I
Hmm.
like that he calls, that he talks to Doug's wife,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What is wrong with the three of you?" And he's like, "I really don't know, because I have no idea." Um, I like that a little bit better. What else do? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and then three, I like because it. I think without this trilogy, we wouldn't have had Joker, because each film
Yeah.
gets darker and darker and darker,
Hmm.
and it's almost like if this was the same guy from Road Trip or some of his like teen comedies, we
Hmm.
wouldn't have had Joker.
No.
I think, especially with part three, with um with Chow escaping from the prison in Bangkok,
Hmm.
and with how, and I thought that was beautifully shot too. That looked very
Yeah.
different. Um, I think
I'm.
this led to Joker.
I gotta say though, when that opening scene with Chow escaping from the prison, the part where everything, like the whole prison was breaking out into a riot, and you see like the sink fall from the top balcony all the way down the floor and just shatter in slow motion. And then you see like the main, like I guess that's the warden of the prison, like walking slowly towards the camera, and he's like pushing people out of the way and all that. I thought that was brilliantly done. I always like stuff like that. Some people don't like the slow motion deal, Zack Snyder haters.
Uh
But you know what? Screw you guys. I like the slow motion stuff.
I would say Michael Bay haters, because he loves to shoot in slow mo.
I mean, if it's visual, if you're shooting slow motion and there's no visual to it, then I can understand the hate. But you got to give Zack Snyder and even Michael Bay, the slow motion scenes are beautifully shot. So if without the slow motion scene, it would just like for example with the Hangover Part 3, you wouldn't see like the fire coming down. You wouldn't see the sink getting thrown off the balcony and smashing on the floor.
Right.
Like it would, if it was all done in just regular time, it would be boom, boom, boom. You wouldn't see any of it.
Well, a lot of these guys, and I don't know the background of Todd Phillips, but when you look at somebody like Ridley Scott, Tony Scott, Michael Bay, Zack Schneider, all these guys, they all came from the same camp. So they started off doing commercials, then they moved into music videos, and then they did features. So they're all shooting, kind of the same way. And oddly, Zack Schneider's favorite movie, and you can actually kind of see it applied in all of his films, is Excalibur, which is an over the top grand knights movie. And you can kind of see that even if it deals with um Batman or Superman, you can
Like
kind of see it
300.
all. Yeah, like 300, yeah.
Three
So
hundred is definitely one that like pays homage to that movie.
it's yeah, and that was his first big thing. Well, Dawn of the Dead came before that, but then there was
Dawn of the Dead was his first movie.
yeah, this
This
was
was
his
but
first
300 was
real
his first like
comic book type.
um something that was not based. Well, yeah, it was based on a comic book, but
Yeah,
I
by Frank
mean,
Miller.
but it was his first like more how do I say this, more his like more he had more control over it.
Well, Dawn of the Dead had done well.
Yeah,
So, yeah. And plus, 300 didn't cost a lot because it was all shot with green screens.
yeah.
So he had done kind of the same thing, uh, that Robert Rodriguez did with Sin City.
Yeah,
So by Frank Miller. So but but to circle back is I think the slow mo and everything is perfectly fine in any of these movies that they use it in, because they do it three times with our core guys walking down a hallway. In the
hmm
first one, it was them walking down the hotel hallway, and I think it's Kanye West is singing um, "Stronger," which is great. And then in the second one, they're in the airport, but I forget what song, and it's all them walking in slow mo. And
yeah.
then the third one, where is it in the third one? I forget where it is in the third one. It's in there. I think it's when they
Is
get
this the
Doug.
one where they? No. Is it the scene where they're going in to get Chow? I do have to say that was a great scene. The scene where they
Mm.
where they get into the room and then you see the lights flashing on and off. Black
I
Sabbath NIB was playing.
I love that. It's that's not where I'm thinking of them walking all together. I think it's with there's a scene near the end with Doug. Yeah, yeah, because it's a scene with Doug. Oh, they're walking to Alan's wedding
Okay.
at the end. They're all in the tuxedos. They're walking down the
Yes. Okay.
hallway,
Yes. Yes.
and
Okay.
and it's slow mo, and it cuts to parts one
And
and
they're
two
kind of
of
like
them walking.
they're showing them walking, and then they're kind of throwing flashbacks to the
Yeah,
other times for
yeah.
the last two movies. Okay. Yeah.
But that scene
That
in
was
part two with when they were in Chow's room in Vegas, I freaking
part three.
love that scene. Oh, part
Part
three.
three.
Sorry, part three.
Yeah.
That I love that scene, and it's just how it's loud and you can't hear anything. And when the lights do flash, they spot like women that are just sweaty and their
I will
makeup.
tell you though, Black Sabbath NIB was a great choice for that.
They, I would agree, and they do great choices of music for a lot of these. They do Danzig is at the beginning
Danzig,
of
yes.
one and three. And
Danzig's
it's
in one? I didn't catch that one. I caught him in the third movie. They
yeah,
did
because
Mother.
that's Mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
They do another one? Did
at
they do
the
another Danzig?
yeah, I think it's at the beginning of Hangover is when we're looking at the city. Um
I
Hangover
must not be familiar with
soundtrack,
that song then.
track listing. Uh yeah, 13.
Nah, I'm not familiar. I was not a big I was not big into Danzig back in the day. I haven't heard a lot of his albums, so the only one I heard was the one that Mother was on, and I don't remember the name of it. So
That's one of his most famous. So,
yeah,
um, let's see. Am I back to where I need to be on here?
actually, as a
Film
matter
series.
of
Okay.
fact, there's only two songs I really know by him. So that was Mother and I Am Demon. That was the only two songs I knew by him.
Oh, okay. And I'm Demon is actually a remake.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that was yeah. I'm a big Misfits fan, but I don't know as much of them solo. But
yeah.
I've listened to a bunch of Danzig and Doyle and Dr. Chud. It kind of depends on what time period it is, but I wouldn't be able to tell you the
Okay,
albums.
I'm lying. There is one more song I know, and that was from the one of the Crow movies. It was I think it was called Belly of the Beast. It was in one of the Crow movies. I'm not sure which one though.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, back on track.
That yeah, that I don't know. But they're the opening songs I think are great in all three.
Mhm.
And it's now I will say I love all the hangover stuff, the next morning. What did you think of the next morning for part three as a mid-credit scene?
It would be interesting if they actually had a movie to go to at that, but I mean, Stu waking up, I got women's underpants on.
We're so crazy.
It's like feels like, Stu, you might want to look down. I got boobies.
Just gets worse for him. And then and then this is the one time where they think Alan did it and he didn't. He didn't drug them. He's like, Mr. Chow gave us the wedding cake. And then there's Chow completely naked and in boots holding a sword. I don't know if that's a prosthetic or not because it looks like maybe the same thing from the second movie, but that is a lot of pubic hair with a very small penis. I mean that really needs to be landscaped.
Oh God, that's terrible, man. That's terrible.
But I saw somebody online, this was a long time ago, who said that it seemed like an afterthought. Like they filmed the movie and went, oh shit, there's no day after. And they went and shot that and just added it during the credits.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe? I don't
I mean,
know.
probably just to like. I mean, which wouldn't. I don't understand why they didn't do it with Alan's bachelorette party. You know what I mean? Like that's what they did with the other ones. It was supposed to be their bachelorette party.
Because then they would have to make part four.
I guess. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I liked that we didn't have it, and some people have said, well, then why call it the Hangover? And it's like, well, that's just the name of it's the name of it. I mean, it's just and we do get a hangover in it. It's just during the credits.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my biggest problem with part three, I really don't like Melissa McCarthy. I really don't. I do not like her. I find her to be incredibly unpleasant.
Oh, is that the one that he married? Alan marries.
Yeah, she's the one that was in Ghostbusters 2016,
Okay, yeah.
Bridesmaids,
You
Heat.
know, to be honest with you, I didn't even recognize her at
It's
first. To be
one
honest
of
with
her first big roles, I think.
you. Okay,
Like I don't
I'm not a
she just
big. I'm not. I haven't watched a lot of movies with her, so she's kind of like one of those actors. Like I know if you tell me, but if unless I know ahead of time, I'm not gonna know.
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know when I
I don't
saw because I saw it in the theater and I'm not sure if I knew who she was because she had that TV show that I never watched. I did like her in Bridesmaids. I thought she was good in that. But In everything else, I just find her incredibly uncomfortable, and she always plays the gross fat friend, and it's like I just don't. And in this, she is Alan. I mean, she's just a female version of Alan, which is awful when you really think about it, because she treats her mothers in a will, like that walker thing,
Yeah,
horribly.
in like a
And
little
she's
scooter.
yeah, the scooter, and she's eating the Chinese food, and her mom's like, I thought you ordered Chinese food, and she's like, you'll eat when I tell you to eat. And even Alan chimes in, telling her to shut up. So it's like she's just the character is unpleasant and she's unpleasant. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's my second favorite Hangover.
I mean, I will say this though. There are scenes where Alan does things and it's cringe. Like it's like, ooh, it makes me uncomfortable. And it's like the scene in the second movie where he Teddy was supposed to get up and say something. He's like, "Oh no, bro, I got you, man, I got you." And then he gets up and starts the cards. It's like,
Well,
like you're kind of embarrassed for him, and he doesn't understand he's embarrassing himself and saying things he shouldn't say that's inappropriate.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Phil, not Phil. Alan, Alan married a whore in Las Vegas. Like, okay, sit down, sit down, sit down. Just sit down. Well, he does it kind of the same thing in the first one. He cuts Phil off. Phil is about to make a speech up on the roof,
Yeah, but
and
at
Alan
least that
cuts
was
him
just the
off.
four of them, so it was not as bad. But him
Right.
doing it in front of this girl's family and stuff, I was kind of like,
I
oh,
I could never be. Everything with Alan is like Peter Griffin when he trips and he's holding his knee, and he just goes, ah,
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 and he does it for like
ah,
30 seconds.
ah.
And it's the funniest thing because it's just so long. And that's how Alan feels to me. It is just that he's just that way. I mean,
He's
it's
that man child, awkward
I
guy, man.
I did laugh because the Jonas Brothers did play out here in Vegas once. There was a sign up saying it was like three bands being shown. I think it was even maybe at MGM, but there was the Jonas Brothers, and I'm just like, oh, Alan is going to be there. So, because Alan's a real person apparently. So it's
Obviously, people
obviously.
in movies are real characters, John. You need to show them respect.
I know that's why I write their characters letters saying, how dare you kill off this other character in this movie that's not real. So you better watch your back. And then the person then
How dare Darth Vader? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
it's just a Star Wars reference, I guess. Just
Don't talk about it.
no, we're not going to discuss Star Wars. No. Um, so what else did I like? Well, the first one, I love the idea. I guess it had a really hard time getting produced. There's a whole article about it that was written years ago about how it
Okay.
almost didn't get made. Um, I know a lot of it is ad-libbed, like the tooth, because he actually does
Okay.
have a missing tooth. And so that was never in the script. And
Okay.
he's like, "Oh, look, I got a missing tooth. Can we add, can we put that in?" Um, I don't mind Alan because that if it was only one movie, if Alan only drugged them once, and I get that he gets it wrong because he
Mm-hmm.
he gets it from Black Doug, the other the other Doug. Enough with that shit, man. I told you about that.
I'll tell you about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's he,
just Doug. Just Doug.
just Doug. But they call him Black Doug in the third one too. And even in the credits, he's called Black Doug.
This is, and I say again, these movies will not fly today.
No, now if it was a white guy, you could call him White Doug. If it was played by a white guy, that'd be fine. That's acceptable today because because you can criticize white people. That's okay, but you can't criticize anybody else.
Evil white people, man. We evil
Evil
white
white people.
people.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you couldn't even have a character. You couldn't have Alan, who does mature. He does grow up a little bit. He does stay in
Yeah.
LA. I'm sorry, stay in Las Vegas and fight, wants to get to know her better, asks her out to dinner, and then pulls down his pants to get a BJ. So
I,
I
how'd you
saw
say it? I've
I
seen this in a pornography.
yeah, pornography. Like what the hell? Where does this dialogue come from? Where does that word come from?
I don't know.
And she's
He's
like, "Well,
like,
that's nice, thank you,
let's
but
maybe we should
we'll
slow
wait a
down
bit."
there a little bit.
Yeah, and she's just like him. So it's how because she got thrown out of the Paris Hotel for life for basically elderly abuse. So I wonder what I would have liked to almost see what their wedding looked like.
I guess we'll never know.
So
Mom, Oreo smoothie now.
yeah. Oh, hi guys. Hi.
What are you guys doing here?
I like John Goodman. I thought he was good. I thought he was effectively scary.
Yeah, he was good. I liked him. He
Yeah.
was he was an effective villain.
Yeah. I
But
think the
is he
thinner
really the
he
villain though?
gets,
I mean, he just wants his gold. He just
he
wants
just
Mr. Chow to give him his gold back.
he just wants his gold. That's all he wants. He just wants his stuff of charms in his gold. So maybe have Leprechaun meets Hangover. And
I
then
don't
he
know.
then Leprechaun can chase him for his gold coins.
Mr. Chow goes and steals a leprechaun's gold.
Yeah. And like the Leprechaun owed Marshall that money, owed him the gold coins. So then he has to send Black Doug. And then we could take one guy, like maybe Alan can go because he's living now in Las Vegas.
There you go. You got yourself some fanfic, man. You gotta write that fanfic.
Yeah, we could call it the Leprechaun Hangover.
The leprechaun hangover. I mean, hey, it's your story, man. Call it what you want.
Call it what I want, yeah, and I think that I will. So, well, let's also would you want a part four? Because I've heard off and on, kind of like Lethal Weapon 4, that they want to do a part four.
I don't know, man. At this point, I mean, can they even do a part four? I mean, they can't make it as raunchy as the first three. I mean, as politically incorrect as these first three movies are, they'd have to tone it down a lot, which I don't think Hangover fans are going to like.
Or they go the opposite way and screw all this woke nonsense and make the most politically incorrect movie that they possibly can. Maybe show some balls and actually make something that people will laugh at. You know, fuck
There's
that. Fuck
that
that
too.
1%. It's everybody
There
else
you
that wants
go. There
something
you go.
good.
We can have Mr. Chow going around saying, screw that woke bull crap.
Yeah, yeah. I if they got back the original cast, which I don't know if they could because it'd be so expensive, especially Bradley Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's a big star now.
well, director and all that
Oh,
stuff.
he's
I
a
mean,
director now.
yeah, because he did A Star Is Born, and I think he just came out with another film too, like an indie movie, like a period
Oh, he
piece.
directed A Star Is Born.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know he directed it. I knew he
yeah,
was in it. I knew he was in it, but I didn't know he directed it.
yeah. He got really mad at the Oscars because Star Is Born was completely overlooked, and I thought that too. I really enjoyed it. I liked it
I,
better than the. I like it
I
better than the Streisand
still
one
haven't
because
seen it, so I have to look. I have to watch that one. It's one I do want to see. Is
Well,
that the
there's
one that
three
you
of
get
them.
Stars Born?
Yeah, there's one with I think it's Julie Garland, and then there's Barbara Streisand, and then there's the new one. There's Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
That's the one he directed.
Yeah,
The one with Lady Gaga, right?
yeah. The
Okay.
Streisand one has Chris Christopherson in it.
Mm.
So it's and that one's good too, but it's very 70s because that's when it was made. So it was
Ah,
very, very
okay,
70s.
gotcha.
But I mean, as long as they made it very R and raunchy, I might go, yeah, I might go see it. I would not see it if it was a reboot with a completely different cast. I would not see it if it was with an all-female cast. Because you
And we will
almost
not see it if it's woke.
so there's four of them. So what if the wives did a Hangover film? So it's still connected to the original three, and then you could do cameos by the original guys, but now it's the wives who are going off on like a vacation.
So what are they gonna do? Have Alan's wife drug all of them?
That would be the obvious thing. So maybe
I
not.
mean, come on. Or have Alan drug the champagne that they're all gonna drink, so that they and he's supposed to be for him and the guys, but she takes it by accident and they drink it and they all go through their thing.
Maybe something gets mixed up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it to be, oh, we already know it's Alan, or oh, we already know it would be like Melissa McCarthy. Like that would be too obvious. They'd probably have to blame them, but I can't see. We don't know Phil's wife well enough. We know Doug's wife a little bit, and then we know the Asian wife a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But at least that's what I thought about Ghostbusters 16, 2016 is if they had connected it to the other two movies. So the opening shot is the fire station, and
Mm-hmm.
there's on the wall over the years we see different Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So it could be male or female. It could be black or white. We could have Asian thrown in there. We could have Hispanic, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Young, older, and you're just kind of going down this row, and it comes up on the new ones. And then there's,
Yeah.
now we have the new cast. And then you have the original Ghostbusters come back as the original Ghostbusters for just cameos.
Yeah.
And
At
I
least
don't know.
at
I
least the
think
ones that chose, at least the ones that survived.
yeah. You couldn't have Ivan Reitman in there, but it's I think
Might
that
be able to like they might be able to like
well
3D
well
him
in
into it.
2016 they had the bust, the Egon bust,
Mm-hmm.
but it was I don't think it was meant to be Egon, but there was the bust, there was the head of him in the
Okay.
film, so technically he's still in there. But I don't know. I think if you maybe connected it in that way instead of just going, oh, we're throwing away everything. This is the new Hangover, which has the original actors doing
It's just
cameos, and
like
then
it's just like how Disney said, "Oh, all Star Wars from here back is not canon. Everything from here on out is canon."
oh, Ahsoka's going to change all of that. That's 100 years before Phantom Menace. They're going to destroy Star Wars. They're going to destroy it. Just that trailer
Oh,
looks awful.
they're trying to unwrite everything, dude. It's like
George
I don't
Lucas
even
has
care.
now taken a knee to Bob Iger and says that everything that Bob Iger has done is correct. He likes where Star Wars has gone. So here's my Blu-ray.
George, if you're listening, you're a coward.
He is.
Period.
Yeah. So here's all my Star Wars Blu-rays that we talked about in the past, and garbage. So that I have nothing for that anymore. So it's a oh, what about Daughters? We could do the hangover. So it could be that we get cameos from the people in the other movies, and it's their kids. So we can have male and female. Maybe one of them is gay, and they're going to, I don't know, Vegas or someplace like that, and they have their hangover experience. So we get the diversified, mixed kids, but we still have the connection to the original movies. But we still make it raunchy. They still end up like, if they go to some place that has like a strip club, they still go to a raunchy strip club,
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean, you
So
never know, man. I mean, we'll just have to see how it goes.
yeah, I don't think it's ever going to happen. But
I don't think so either. I mean, the only way I see it's going to happen is if they completely reboot it or they make it so woke it's not even funny.
ugh, yeah, that would be awful.
And I don't think I want either or.
What did you think about Heather Graham being in 1 and 3? Do you like
I
her character?
I I, I thought her character was pretty good. I remember her from Austin Powers. That's what I remember her from mostly.
I remember her from that, but I also remember her as Roller Girl from Boogie Nights being totally naked. So if you haven't seen Boogie Nights, you
I've never seen
should.
that. I haven't seen that movie, so I can't comment on
Oh my
that. But
god, it's
I
based
remember, but
on
I
John
do remember
Holmes.
her from Austin Powers, like the spy who shagged me. So
Yeah, I liked having her back. If you're going to come back to Vegas, then you might as well bring back some of the people. Now, did you know
exactly.
the baby and then the older version of the baby are the same person?
Oh, are they?
Yeah, it's
So
the
they actually
same
brought the
kid.
baby back. The baby from the first movie is the kid from the third movie. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
There you go. I like that they kept that continuity like to an extreme.
yeah. It's his name is like Tyler Carlos is how they have him listed, but Grant Holmquist. I think I may not be saying his name correctly, um, yeah, I always wondered that, and then one day I looked it up, and it was like, oh, that's cool that they brought back the same kid. So
So here's my question: you remember in the first movie when Alan and Doug were waiting for Phil at the school? He's like, "Do you have to park right here?" He's like, "He's like, why? What'd you do?" He goes, "I'm not supposed to be within 200 feet of the school." What did Alan do? And if he did anything to kids or anything like that, why did they let him in the room alone in the third movie with another kid?
well, I did question that, but not using what you just said. I just thought that
I
it
don't think
was.
he did anything like
I
you
think he
know
probably sold drugs. They probably sold drugs to
either
kids.
that or he was just trying to be
Nothing
friends
bad.
with a younger, maybe trying to be a friends with them, and they kind of took it that way. Maybe.
Yeah, like he does go in part 3. There is the swimming partner, and the kid's like what, like 13, and
Yeah.
everybody there kind of looks at that kind of weird.
Yeah.
So it was something bad enough to where he can't be that
Yeah. At the
close,
school.
but I don't think it was anything touchy feely.
No, I
No.
I think maybe I don't know. They really don't say anything, but I was implying like maybe he was trying to be friends with one of the kids at the school, or maybe a couple of the kids at the school, and then he, knowing him, he probably snuck into the school and tried to be be one of the students or something, and they had to kick him out.
Wow, that is complicated. That's a whole side movie right there. Just an
Well, there you
Alan.
go. We can have a side movie there.
Yeah, that's that.
See where our brains go, John. We can make Hollywood millions,
We
but
could if they
they
would just
don't
listen,
care.
but they don't. No, they don't. Just like Alan drugging them in the second movie, when it should have been the son. It should have been the brother. Um, I could also see maybe. See, I think it could be something more simple, like selling drugs, or maybe he. hit a kid. Like a
That
kid
could
called
be.
him Fatty, and he just hit him. And there's like, yeah, you're not allowed on here. He started a fight with a teacher, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's possible.
I mean,
Um,
I would have loved to have seen that explored a little bit more. Like, why aren't you not allowed as a kid? I don't. I mean, it didn't have to be like a long line. It could have been just like, I started a fight with the teacher,
no, I
or
don't know. I don't want to know any of that stuff. I don't
oh,
want to.
you want to leave that up to your interpretation.
Yeah, I think it's funny when he just says it. Uh, like we don't know a lot from the first film about Alan's bitchy girlfriend, who's a fucking nightmare, about her sleeping with the bartender, and everybody keeps getting like the profession wrong, and they have to correct each other on it. And but that's all we
To the
need to
point to
know.
where to the point where Stu even got it wrong at the very end of the movie. He's like, it's the bartender or the waitress.
Oh, I'm
He's
saying I'm
like,
sorry, I'm saying Alan. I meant Stu. Yeah, Stu
uh,
is yeah, and but Alan at the yeah corrects him at the end. But I
I
don't want to
thought you said it was the
know.
bartender or something like that.
It is a bartender.
No, no, that's what I know. That's what Alan said. He's like, he said this happened when you f the waitress, and he goes, I thought you said he was a bartender. What bartender then? Whatever it is.
Yeah. He says I stand corrected. Thank you, Alan. So and then that's when Alan and he walks away, and Stu walks away, and then Alan goes to the girlfriend. I'm studying to get my bartender license, and she just goes, "Suck my dick," which I fucking love. I love when women say to suck my dick, but only if they're women. I just find that to be really funny when women say that. But she's a horrible person,
Yeah.
and God, yeah, there's so many. Well, let me look at, as I got some stuff here, and so box office wise, um, yeah, so we got so the first Hangover came out in 2009, and
Yeah.
its opening weekend, I'm going to round up on these, 45 million.
Okay.
So it made a grand total of no, it made a grand total of 44,000, 45,000. Then adding in North America, other territories worldwide, it ended up making 35 million.
Okay. I think
No,
the
I'm
first
sorry.
one
I'm
was like
sorry. I'm
the
sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm reading this fucking wrong as I don't have my glasses on. Okay. So where is it? So it came out on the 5th. Its opening weekend. Oh, okay. Okay. This is okay. So I am reading. Okay. So its opening weekend was 44 million. Okay. It can't be 44,000. So it's actually 45 million. Then,
mhm.
but its budget was 35 million.
Okay.
So it made some money. And
I
then
think the first one was like the best one, the one that made the most, right?
why am I not being able to read this correctly? This doesn't make sense. Opening weekend for The Hangover is 44 million 900 no 9,079. God, why am I not being able to read this right? Because its budget was 35 million. Its opening weekend was 45 million. Okay. So now Hangover 2, that was 2011. Its opening weekend was 86 million, and its budget was 80 million. But it's not giving me. Okay, so here's worldwide. Okay. Then Hangover 3 was 2013. It opened at 42 million, but its budget was 103 million. Okay. So worldwide, Hangover made 467 million. Hangover 2 made 586 million. So a lot more. And then
part two was the best
yeah, and then part
when it comes to
three,
box office. That is.
yeah. And then part three is 3,062,000. So it made the least and cost
Okay.
the most. So,
That's
which is probably the actors on like Rotten Tomatoes. The first one got a 79. Oh God, they keep going down. 79. The second one got a 34. Part three got a 20. Cinema Score gave the first one an A, the second one an A minus, and then the third one a B, which I guess is still okay. I mean,
yeah.
that's still excellent and good.
Well, I will say with Rotten Tomatoes, you can't always count on the critics thing. You got to look at the audience when you look at their scores, because there's the audience is like really what really matters. No, nobody cares what the critics have to say.
No, I don't really care what anybody says because we all know that it's all bought off. I mean, they
Yeah.
came clean with that because of COVID. When all of a sudden they were paying people to do reviews, but it's oh the so I'm looking at cast here. Who did I not? Okay, so Steph. Okay, so Jade we like. That's Heather Graham.
Yeah,
Mike Epps is Black Doug. We talked about Tyler and Carlos. Um, yeah, Melissa. That's Rachel Harris, who I really like as a like as a comedian and stuff. But she's the nightmare. She was the demon woman. Um,
that was that the one? Was that the one that was Stu's girlfriend in the first movie?
yeah.
Okay, so
Uh, Dr. Walsh was pretty funny. That's Matt Walsh. He was the doctor in the first film who gave them information, and then when they said, "Well, how do we get to the chapel?" He's like, "What's it on the corner of fuck you and get a map?" The two people who I
he's like,
thought were
I'm a doctor, not a GPS or something like that.
yeah, and then when Stu wants to look at the stuff, he's like, and Stu's like, "Well, I'm a doctor." He's like, "No, you're just a dentist."
You should.
Um,
Yeah, he's flipping through, and I think he said something along the lines of, "Yeah, you said that like 5 times last night, but we found out later you're just a
just
dentist."
a dentist. The two cops, the male and female cops, I thought were out of place in the first ones, but I did love the tasing scene. Thought they were too over the top.
That was the second one.
No, that's the first one.
Is it the first? I thought the tasing scene was in the second one.
No, that's the first. It's when they steal the cop car and they're at Heather Graham's house, her apartment.
Yeah, I watched these so close together. I'm getting them mixed up now.
Yeah, yeah, because they wouldn't be in like Thailand or Bangkok. They'd be in Vegas. But
Okay,
that's their they
okay,
act
that makes sense. That makes sense now.
yeah, they're way over the top as and stuff. But the tasing scene is great, and like the like the little chubby kid who tases Alan is friggin' perfect. He's absolutely hilarious in his
I
looks.
mean, let's be honest. Alan got what he deserved, man. He kicked the kid's phone out of his hand.
The look on that kid's face is brilliant. That
It's
kid
like
is a great actor.
he's
I mean,
just like, I'm gonna get even with you. I'm gonna get even with you. Boom, right in the face.
yeah,
As soon as he gets the cop's like, oh, right to the face.
face. Yeah. A little over the top for me. I think they could have, but that's I think how these two actors are because they're comedians. So, and that's Rob
Yeah,
Wrigley, who's been in a ton of stuff. He's good too, but I think he's just over the top.
yeah.
Tyson, of course, is good in both movies. We like Tyson.
Good old
Um,
Mike Tyson.
I love how he just punches Alan in the face to in the air tonight. That to me is something disappointing with part three when we're doing the hangover thing and they all wake up. They have things from kind of like each movie. but they don't really. I think they should have brought Tyson back.
Should have had what they should have did was like, wait a minute, didn't Mike Tyson bring the cake and have Mike Tyson coming out with the freaking sword or something
Well, I
instead of
mean,
the child?
he could have been the first guy to wake up because then you could still keep, still keep it the way it is. But maybe instead of Phil being the first one to wake up, which he was in the second movie, maybe just show the blanket and who wakes up is Tyson. And all he has to do is sit on the floor and just laugh at Stu. Or you have like Alan has the tattoo on his face. And so then we know, give us something with Tyson. We need, but the ending credits for part 3, it is in the air tonight. It's the Phil Collins. So
Okay.
they didn't find like a band to just redo it. They got the actual song.
Yeah.
So maybe that's their kind of Tyson thing. But I think that they should have tied Tyson into all 3. I think would have been nice.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been much of a stretch because he's already in 1 and 2, and then Alan invites him to go to the bachelor party, and then he wakes up. So that would have been fine. The
Yeah.
guy that Brian Callen, he played Eddie and Samir. So I liked Eddie in the first one. He's at the church. When he's handing them all the stuff, and we get to see the pictures of Jade and all
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah.
That I liked him in that, but I did not like him in part 2. I don't.
I didn't even know he was in part two.
He was in the trans bar, like the trans strip bar, and he's the one that says that
So was he playing the same character in
no,
both?
no,
Oh, so he was playing two different characters.
they just want to use
So
the
he
same actor again.
Oh, okay. So he was one character in part one. He was the guy at the church of part one, and then the one of Chow's men get or
Well, he's the owner
doing a
of the
deal with
strip
Chow.
bar. Yeah, he's going to give him that Uzi or whatever that is.
Okay.
He's also the guy who rats out Chow to
Okay.
Paul Giamatti, who I love. He's one of my favorite actors, but I think that he was miscast in this. It was originally going to be Mel Gibson. But at that moment when they were filming, that's when he decided to go on his I hate Jews rant and to the
Oh
police,
boy.
and it was all recorded, and that's when he got canceled for a few years. So they replaced him with Paul Giamatti, who's a great actor, but I don't find him threatening as a mob boss. And since Mel Gibson has already played a cop, I think Mel Gibson would have been threatening as a mob boss, and I would have believed him as a cop. So that I didn't like
I
in
can see
part 2.
that.
God, there's a lot of
I
stuff I
can
don't
see
like in
that.
part 2, but it's my favorite. Um, what was the other thing? There was something else with part 2 that I was going to bring up. Um, yeah, Jamie Chung, that's Lauren, that's Stu's fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti, Teddy, um, yeah, Marshall, John Goodman, Melissa McCarthy is Cassie, and even the monkey who gets to be in 2 movies. Drug dealing monkey. The real name of drug dealing monkey is Crystal the monkey.
Yeah, I think it's on the back of it.
So, and
Yeah. Yeah, that's on the back there. I didn't I didn't notice that they put the name of it on there. I don't know if you can see that.
what is it?
Uh, there's the special feature called not your everyday monkey.
Oh, okay. Do I have that? Did I say that I have that? I don't remember.
I think you
Oh no,
said
that's a.
your part two didn't have it
Oh
hardly any
yeah,
special
yeah, yeah, yeah,
features.
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Part 2. Yeah. Oh
So
wow.
gotta
Oh,
get the
and
Blu-ray for 'em.
also reoccurring in 2 movies, 1 and 2, because they're in Vegas. Um, is Todd Phillips.
Oh,
So he
he
in the
did a
first
cameo.
film, yeah, he's in the elevator when we get the song Stronger and they open it and it's the guy going down on the girl on the elevator. That's the
Yeah.
director. And
Okay.
then
I didn't
in
I didn't put a face to the director, so
yeah, and then in the third one is Chow like hang glides past a window, and a woman is like paying him money on a sofa.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love when directors do that. I really do. I love when
Small,
they have little tiny cameos. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, M Night Shyamalan does it. Stephen King does it with like every one of the movies that are based on his book. I love when cameos and authors not do that.
yeah.
Now,
I prefer smaller the
the only
better.
thing I will say is M Night Shyamalan doesn't need to act. He just needs to have cameos.
Yeah, I
I
was
mean,
actually going to say that.
he's not a terrible actor. I mean, if he had like a small like speaking part, that would be fine. But keep it to like little like
Because
a little chunk.
I think he's got the ego where, like somebody like Todd Phillips in the first one is, we see him going down on her or going sideways on her, I guess. And then when the doors open, he kind of pops his head up, and the guys, and he goes, "Oh, we're going up," and they're like, "Yeah, so are we." And so they just like get in. So he has like a couple lines of dialogue. That's it. And then in the third one, there's no lines at all. So I actually prefer that. I think
Yeah,
M Night, it's all pure ego,
yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but I always enjoy when I didn't even know that was the director. I never put a face to Todd Phillips. So now but I really I've always enjoyed when directors have little cameos of themselves in there, even
yeah,
if it's just a small part or they're just like they like my favorite ones like I said before, Stephen King. Like every time it's a movie based on a Stephen King book, you're looking like, okay, where's King gonna pop up at? And in all the Marvel movies, Stan Lee, or like where's Stan Lee gonna pop up at?
right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, no, that
I
that
like
that's
when they do
that's no, that stuff is fun. I like that too. Um, so as far as like the quotes go and stuff, because there are great quotes in here.
so many quotes are gonna get us canceled, John.
I know. So let's see.
I mean, let's be real here. I mentioned to you on I messaged you on Facebook two pictures from the first movie that they're probably gonna blow out Trump on the Trump Towers eventually at some point.
that I still don't know how to answer. So I don't know how to answer. As long as he brings money to Vegas, they'll keep him here. So you know, uh, I don't think this is a good list. No, this is not a good list.
Well, I do have a question
Uh,
for you.
sure. Let me look for.
What do you think about Chow? We really
Um,
didn't talk too much about Chow as a character and all that.
um, I like him. I know that a lot of people got bored with him because
Really?
then he kind of started doing. Well, I mean, he is kind of doing the same thing in every movie, but um, I think people. Okay, so these are all IMDb, so maybe these will work. Uh, I like the actor. I
Mm-hmm.
like the character, and but I think people just got kind of tired maybe of the actor a little bit because he was just kind of doing like a toned down version of Mr. Chow.
He
So I don't
just
know. I
kept getting
liked
a
him,
little crazier every movie.
which I didn't mind because it's a story with him.
Yeah.
It continue. It's the two Dougs in the first one, and then the second one we think he dies from doing too much cocaine, and then he comes back. Um, and I'd be pissed off too. Um, I like that they made him and Alan friends. So then Alan would invite him to the wedding, which pisses off Stu. because he's like, it's $200 a plate. You don't have a plus one. Um, and then showing the very first thing in part three of him, basically like breaking out of prison.
Yeah.
I like that. So it's like a continuing story, and then also
Yeah,
like
I
bringing
mean,
back
it's
Marshall and stuff like that. I thought was a good idea.
yeah. I thought he was a fun character. I mean, you, every movie has a memorable scene with him. I mean, like the third movie was him like cut the gray wire. What gray wire? There's a light gray, a dark gray, and a medium gray. He's
It's like,
like,
oh
what
yeah, I'm
color?
colorblind. It's like, hold on, I'm coming. And he starts sniffing, when they got the collars on to break into the house, and he's like sniffing Stu's butt. And he's like, we dogs, we be like dogs.
I'm greeting you like a dog.
Well, and you never exactly understand like who or what Mr. Chow is. Like if you look at his cell in prison, it's a combination of both like sexy guys and sexy girls. So you don't know if he's one of these
Is
kind of
he
like,
gay or is he just plain gay?
yeah,
Because
I
if you
mean,
remember in the second movie, he goes, they ask him like, "Why does it always end in confrontation?" He goes, "I'm a criminal. That's just what happens. I met my wife on one of these." And they're like, "Wife?" He goes, "Yeah. Don't you think I'm good looking to have a wife?"
yeah, I mean, it's yeah, he might be, I don't know, bi or metro
Maybe.
or gay or straight, or we don't really know. I mean, he obviously likes to dress up. He likes, because even if you look at him in part three when he's the cop and he steals the gold in that
Mhm.
flashback, he looks good as the cop. He didn't just throw a suit on, like, because we start off with his shoes, and his shoes look nice. So even when he's going to go kill a cop or kill somebody dressed up as a cop, he still
Mhm.
has to look good in the part.
Yeah.
But yet he has no problem running around in being naked with boots on, holding a sword. He's obviously somebody who does not manscape. So it's so it's he's yeah he I we really don't know what his character is.
I mean, I think that's what adds the charm of it. You never expect. You can never. Uh, you never know what's coming. You know what I mean? Like it's unexpected what's going to happen next.
Yeah, because he is flamboyant, and and obviously I'm guessing the actor doesn't mind getting naked because he's naked in the first movie, and he's naked in the second movie,
I think
and
he's
he's
taking
naked
all
in the
three of
third
them.
movie. Yeah. So I mean, good for him. You know, and who knows if that's his real, you know, penis or not.
I don't think so.
I
I
mean,
think
it
I
could
think
be
it
a
look it, it looked
prosthetic.
kind of fake.
You think so? Maybe, maybe not. You never know. But I mean, it's maybe it is fake because that is a lot of pubic hair and a really small penis. Like I said before, I mean it's almost meant to look like a joke. So maybe it is.
Pretty
Maybe
much.
he's just kind of packed in there, and then it's like a cup that they put on him.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah. Um, but let's see here. So I did the IMDb one, which seems better. So um I'm not going to go through all of these because some of these are lengthy, but there's like when Stu says from the first film, she's got my grandmother's Holocaust ring. And then Alan says, I didn't know they gave out rings at the Holocaust. Nice little Holocaust joke there.
Oh my.
Um, um, the actress who plays Lisa, who's at Caesars, the one that's working behind the desk, is gorgeous with the black
Yeah.
hair. But him asking her questions about did Caesar really live here? And she just keeps going, what? You know, I don't understand. What? That's good. Um, I keep on forgetting. Oh yeah. What do you think about the tiger?
I like the tiger. Although I mean, it's funny that they had to roofie him in order to get him back to Mike Tyson.
I really liked all this stuff with Tyson, and I was thinking about this the other day with Jonathan Moody because that, and I did, and I'll probably bring this up to him at some point, which is it's not all of us, but we do tend to like people that are not good. Like we love Tyson. He had a cartoon. We like him in the Hangover movies. We like Tyson, but he did
And he
beat the
bit
shit
some
out of
dude's
his
ear off.
wife. He bit somebody's ear off and he beat the shit out of his wife.
Yeah.
I like
Was
I like Tom
I could be
Cruise.
wrong, but wasn't he accused of murdering somebody? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
I think that's somebody else. He beat his
Oh, he beat his wife. Okay.
wife or girlfriend,
Then I
but
must
but
be thinking of
but
O.J.
she's
Simpson.
she's famous too.
I'm getting
I'm
him
blanking on
mixed
her
up with
name.
O.J. Simpson. Sorry.
Oh
Never mind.
Jesus! Wow, all Tyson did was bite an ear off. He didn't decapitate somebody. He decapitated
Did
an
he
ear.
actually do it though? I mean, they still don't know if he actually did it though. I don't know. I mean, that's
Well,
neither here nor there. I don't have an opinion in the matter.
there are theories out there. There is one. Daniel Farron's made a film called The Murder of Nickel Brown Simpson, and it does go off of one of the other conspiracy theories of a serial killer that went cross country, that OJ knew, and that he was the one who actually did it. So it's a whole different conspiracy than. But I do tend to think that OJ probably did it. But well,
I don't
who's
know.
somebody else? Like I mentioned Tom Cruise, of course, Scientology, which ruins lives. Um, I'm now a fan of Mark Wahlberg when I haven't been. I actually like his movies. And this is a guy who used to beat up gays and get into fights with black people. That he was pretty racist against
I
them.
mean, we were fans of Mel Gibson, and he's pretty, you know,
He's pretty bad too. So
anti-Jewish and
anti-gay and
all that stuff.
yeah. So I don't I don't know what to make of that type of stuff. It's like you like these people
Again,
and then
I've said this 100 times before, and I know probably people that watch this are probably tired of hearing me say it. But I just learned to separate the art from the artist. Just okay, I don't have to like Mel Gibson, the person, but I can like the movies he plays in. So just because I
but
watch something that he's in doesn't mean I automatically agree with his way of life.
so is there a line? So okay, so for example, the actor who plays Alan's dad. Okay, so Jeffrey Tambor. He got canceled 2016, sexual misconduct allegations.
Okay.
Do we not like the Hangover movies because of that, or do we separate
Okay. Well,
those
well
two?
when did he actually do this?
2016.
So he did this in 2016 is when the allegations came up, or
After
did he do it prior to 2016?
um on November 8th, 2017, sorry, Tamborn was accused of sexual misconduct by his former assistant. And then November 16th, an actress additionally made accusations. This is why the show that Transparent, where he does play the transgender person, was
Yeah.
canceled, was because of these
Uh-huh.
allegations. So it was more than one.
Um,
So I guess my question would be where do we draw the line? I mean, like I was a huge Charlie Sheen fan. From I'm
yeah.
talking from the beginning. I'm talking like when he was doing The Boys Next Door with Maxwell Comfield. Like before, he was just like nobody really knew who he was at the time. They just knew that
Yeah.
he was Martin Sheen's son. And I've been a
Mhm.
fan of his since then. All of a sudden, when he started giving women HIV, I had to draw the line and be like, I can't like you anymore. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to purchase your stuff. I'm not, I mean, you're purposely going out knowing that you have HIV and you're giving it to these women who got HIV. Some of them did, some of them didn't. But
Yeah.
I loved him and I thought he was great in, like, I think it was Machete 2 where he plays the president. And he's has his original name, which is Carlos Estevez,
Mhm.
which I thought was great. So where do we draw the line on these type of things? Or is it just that's our Charlie? Oh, that's our Mel. Oh, that's just him being
I
racist again.
mean, like I said before, I mean, we can go to the extreme about this, or and plus, when it comes to the sexual allegations and stuff, I have this thing like where I'm not going to jump the gun because a lot of these people are in Hollywood sometimes get accused of things just because they're famous.
Right.
Like for example, before he came out and admitted it, I was questionable about Bill Cosby because for a long time we didn't think Bill Cosby would do something like
You
that.
would never
He
think
was
that Bill Cosby would do that. No.
no, and when he came out and admitted it, it's like, okay, you're a jerk for that. You deserve the prison time you're getting. I mean, so you get
And the
what you
ironic
deserve.
thing about that is he probably eats a lot of Jello pudding in prison. Think about it.
I
Think
don't
about it.
want to think about it. I
Think
don't
about it.
want to think about it.
Well,
No.
the one person that I liked and we reviewed and filmed with him in it is Jonathan Majors. Is I like Jonathan Majors. I thought he was great in Creed 3. I don't give a shit about Marvel and Ant-Man and all that crap that he's in because that's garbage. But I've liked other movies that he's been in, and then when these came up, I'm like, no, no. And then they showed video and stuff, and I still went, no, I'm not buying it. But then a guy that I watch on YouTube did like an hour video on every allegation, on everything that he could find. And I'm like, this is bad. This is bad. Because none of it
Yeah,
looked made up. It looked like this is like police reports and video and voicemails.
yeah,
And it's like, this is not good.
yeah. I mean, I kind of look at it like this: if Bill Cosby's not a good, not a good example, so I won't use Bill Cosby because he's been apparently he's been doing this thing with women since the '60s or whatever, or probably
Yeah,
even
it's
before that.
been a long
I don't
time.
know when
Yeah.
he started doing it. He's been doing it this entire time, and he actually came out and admitted that yes, I did it. So I mean, kudos to him for actually admitting it, but you're still a jerk. So
Right.
I can understand people saying, well, I can't watch anything with Bill Cosby in it because of what he did. That's your choice. And I respect that. If you can't forgive someone for what they did, I mean something like that, I don't know if you could really forgive something like that. But I'm saying like if you can't some people can't separate the art from the artist. And that's your preference. You know what I mean? Like you and Charlie Sheen. You after he did what he did, you can't really support him anymore. That's your
Yeah,
preference.
that's
Me,
just
I'll
bad.
if he's in the movie, I'll watch the movie, but I don't know. I'm not up to par of what he actually did. So you know what I mean. So a lot of the stuff
Right.
I'll watch and I'll be like, oh, Charlie Sheen, oh, Bill Cosby, oh, Mel Gibson, cool, let's watch it. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm looking at it. It's like I can separate the art from the artist. I watch the movie. I look at Mel Gibson as a character. I'm not looking at Mel Gibson as Mel Gibson at that point. So, but like I said, if you can't separate the art from the artist, I totally respect that.
Mhm.
Especially if they've done something so horribly wrong. Now, one thing I will say, uh, if they've done something like, see, I don't want to get into this because then we're going down a rabbit hole here. So basically, like something like, I won't support Bill Cosby. I won't support him ever again because of what he did. I mean, I don't. If he's in a movie, like if he has a part in a movie, I'll still watch the movie with him in it, but I
Well,
won't,
he
you know.
won't be anymore, but he made some great movies in the 70s and 80s,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If
and
I'm watching
so
like an older movie with him in it, I'll still watch the movie, but I'm not going to go out of my way to purchase that movie, if you know what I mean.
old wise I can. Old wise I can. But nothing new. I wouldn't want
So
to.
everything, so you're like everything from the year uh he was under the allegations to when he had finally admitted it. You
Yeah,
won't
I
support
mean,
that.
I Spy was good. The TV show was good. Mother Jugs and Speed was good. I mean, he's been in a lot of films in the 70s that I thought were quite good. And
Yeah.
so it's so okay. Here's my guy, Clint Eastwood. Before he became Mr. NRA and that whole thing that he did with on stage at the Republican convention, talking to the empty chair that was supposed to be Obama and telling Obama to go fuck himself and all this type of stuff. I really liked Clint Eastwood, but all of a sudden when he became Charlton Heston, basically, I stopped watching his movies. And I don't, and I think the only thing I've watched is Jersey Boys. But pretty much from that moment on, I really haven't watched anything that he's made. And
Okay.
and I just thought that it was really inappropriate and stupid. And so it's just like, no, I just don't, I just never had the desire to kind of watch anything after that.
Okay.
I
I
think
mean,
Unforgiven is one of the greatest westerns ever made. I'll still watch that because it's before it. But after it, I just don't have that desire to watch the Mule or some of these other movies that he's made. It just doesn't he just doesn't. I don't know. I just don't.
all because he
I
said bad
lost
things about Barack Obama.
I lost interest because I just thought that it was, I mean, think if an actor, if Alec Baldwin went up on stage before Rust and said, and was promoting Obama and had an empty chair. And it was, well, I can't say Obama because Trump wasn't running against Obama, but if it was like Baldwin
And
with
he's
Hillary
supporting
Clinton.
he's supporting Joe Biden right now, and he turned
Well,
around and said,
Biden,
"Oh, F Trump" or something.
I'm trying to think before Rust. So it'd be Hillary. So if he went on stage to support Hillary and there was an empty chair and it was just like he did the same thing, I think people would lose respect for him because of that. And it just seems inappropriate. So I just lost interest in him. I
Okay,
so
I
yeah.
mean, I I don't care either way. I
I mean,
mean,
some people don't. I mean, look at the Acolyte. Leslie Headroom was a Weinstein's personal assistant for 3 years. You don't think she, who is gay, knew what Harvey Weinstein was doing? But yet Kathleen Kennedy hires her to create an all-female, Star Wars show. So it's just like you kind of, and so I have absolutely no interest in this show coming from the person who created it.
yeah.
It just, so but to get back to some of this stuff so we can end this on the hangover stuff. So let's go through some quotes here. So I already did the one. Um, and then yeah, the tiger. Um, oh, the gambling scene. Maybe I don't even have to do name quotes. I could just pick the scenes. I love the gambling scene in the first movie.
Yeah, that was
How
good.
that was
I like
shot,
that one.
and it was. I know it's
It
Jack
just
Black.
which
Was it?
proves that Alan is not dumb like he says he is. I mean, he read a freaking book and learned how to gamble from it.
And that's where retard comes from, because he talks about Rain Man being a retard, and he knew how to do money. So
Yeah.
there you go. And unfortunately, that scene has an actor out here named Rusty that everybody hates. He's a glorified extra, and nobody likes him. He's like a total jerk, and he's standing right there. He's right in the scene, and none of us like him or want to work with this guy. So I have no problem saying that out loud. But that is a great
Oh,
scene. It's
okay.
got a great song by the White Stripes, and it's I love
I
like
didn't
Phil.
even know who this guy you were talking about is. So I've never seen him.
He's in a lot of Vegas stuff. If you see like The House, that Will Ferrell movie, with the gambling, he's in that one too. He's a glorified extra in that one. He's an absolute asshole. He's a total asshole. Um,
What is he? One of those people like, oh, I was in the Hangover. I'm better than you.
he's
Kind
like
of one of those guys.
he's like a SAG extra, and if your movie isn't SAG, then he reports you and tries to get you shut down. So like he would, I guess if he he messaged me a few times and I just ignored him. And now people used to be afraid of him and they're not afraid of him anymore. So there's like
Oh,
this
that's
guy
good.
has no power. But I do love the shot of Phil flipping off the security cameras. He's just like, fuck you when he's at the camera. Um, I like when Alan comes in and he's God, my God, my brain is so bad with this stuff. With Heather Graham's character, um, Jade, um,
Yeah.
and she falls backwards just to kind of let
Kind
them
of like
leave.
having a seizure kind of deal.
Yeah, and then he's
To
like, "Are you
like
okay?"
distract them.
Yeah, yeah. So they can, so Alan and Phil can leave, and then Stu looks over and sees they're gone, and he's like, "Oh, I think you're fine." She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm okay," and she just gets up and leaves. That's a good scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the quotes I don't have to do because I can just because these are reminding me of good scenes. Uh, oh, I like the song that Stu sings about in the first one about lions. I'm sorry, about tigers. What do tigers dream of when they do a tiger snooze? I like that.
That's
That
what was missing from the third movie. Did he? He didn't even sing a song in the third movie.
no, yeah, he does in the second, but not in the.
Yeah, he does it in the first two, but he doesn't do it in the second one.
Yeah, I like Phil asking Alan, would you please put some pants on? I feel it weird that I have to ask you twice. Um,
Which is funny because they could have had Alan use that on Stu in the second movie because he was walking around in his underpants.
oh yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is Whitey Tighties, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Here's that Alan Melissa thing. So it was a real pleasure meeting you. Fuck off. I'm thinking of getting my bartender's license. Suck my dick. No, thank you. Um. What else?
That was a good one. I like that part.
Yeah, like Mr. Chow. I like how talks. You gonna fuck on me? And then Alan's like, nobody's gonna fuck on you. I'm on your side. I hate Godzilla. I hate him. I hate him too. I hate him. He destroys cities. Please, this isn't your fault. I'll get you some pants. Uh
I hate Godzilla too.
oh yeah, yeah. Here's
It's
your
like
here
that. Wow.
uh
It's like
and
kind of like intentionally racist, but not completely.
right.
It's like
Um well, and Mr. Chow being a little flamboyant when he says, "So long, gay boys." That cracks me up.
yeah. I
Um,
think he did. I think he did that in the first one, and then like the second one, while he was driving the car, he said, "Hold on, gay boys."
yeah, yeah, they knew it was a good line. So, um, that's the whole thing with Melissa. Yeah, Tyson. Uh, oh yeah, with Phil when he meets Alan, Phil's like, "Who is this?" And then Doug's like, "It's Alan, Tracy's brother." Alan's like, "I met you 4 times," and Phil's like, "Oh yeah, how you doing, man?" I like his casualness on stuff. It's like,
Yeah,
"Oh yeah, okay, yeah, 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 all right."
like just play along, just play along.
Um, yeah, when Phil's driving the cop car, when he's on the strip on the sidewalk, I should have been a fucking cop. Uh, yeah, here it is. Here it is. Melissa. Um, I just wish your friends were as mature as you, Stu. They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better. Phil yells from outside, paging Dr. Faggot. Dr. Faggot. Stu goes, I should go. And then Melissa goes, That's a good idea, Dr. Faggot. It's so great.
That's a great line, man. I love it. Again,
Uh,
I said it like multiple times this up during this episode, but this movie will not fly today. Just will not.
no, it won't.
So
Uh, so let's
that's the
go
last time
to,
I'm going to say it too. So
so with part two, hey, Roadhouse is out, the new version of Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, Stu, yeah, we're living in Allentown. That's the song.
yeah.
Um, Mr. Chow, oh, you're having a bad day. Did you die?
But did you die?
Did you die? And then Stu at the end. Oh, here's the deal, man. I got a dark side. There's a demon inside of me. Alan, it's true. He has semen inside of him. I said demon, but you also have semen inside you. Remember, Stu? It's not relevant. Thank you, Alan. Uh, Stu, you're the bearded devil. Alan, you liked it. You smiled at me when I held up the bag of marshmallows because I like marshmallows, you fucking psycho. Uh, uh, let's see. Oh, Mr. Chow, I do blow all night. Monkey jerk me off while I watch Stu make fuck to Lady Boy. Uh,
Then there was that one part during the beginning there when they're like touching his wiener. They're like, it's a shiitake mushroom,
yeah, monkey,
and and
monkey.
uh, and,
Does it taste like
and they're
Chicago?
like, and then all of a sudden the monkey's like, and he's like, ah, he's like, get that gay monkey away from me.
Yeah, then you got the transvestite stripper. Her name is Kimmy, and it says there's a reason why it's called Bangkok, sweetie. When a monkey nibbles, this is from Alan. When a monkey nibbles on your penis, it's funny in any language. I wish monkeys could Skype. Maybe someday, says Alan. I'm a,
I gotta admit, out of the whole movie, that was kind of a sad point. Like where you keep kind of like saying goodbye to the monkey. It was
oh,
kind
that
of a
was
sad.
awful. I mean, the monkey gets shot. I hope it lived.
Oh, evidently it did because he's in the third movie, right?
Oh, it did
Yeah.
live. Yes, 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 yes. It's in the pre-credit. Yeah. So this is Alan and Teddy. So what? You're a doctor? No, not yet. I'm pre-med. Ever heard of a guy, Doogie Howser? Yeah. Well, he turned out to be a gay. Alan, it's true. I read it in Teen People. I just love a gay. Um,
Remember, everything in those teen magazines is true.
yes, it
Just like
is.
the just like everything on the internet is true. Abraham Lincoln said that.
That's true. Every meme is the actual person said.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, there's a ton of them. Then we'll quickly go to part three. Um, I may have to watch Roadhouse tonight. Um, yeah, it's they did a remake with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's on Prime.
I didn't know there was a remake.
Yeah. Um, this is part three. Phil, what the fuck's wrong with all those chickens? They're angry. All I feed them is cocaine and chicken. Fucking cannibals.
Cannibal chickens. There we
Alan,
go. There we go.
cannibal chickens.
No, that's copywritten. We can't talk about that. It's copywritten by me, doggone it. Cannibal chickens.
There you go.
Attack of the cannibal chickens.
Alan, nothing worse than losing your phone. Stu, you just saw a man get murdered. Your brother-in-law is kidnapped. Are you sure there's nothing worse? Uh, uh, we're not going to kill any dogs, Chow. This will knock them out for hours. Chow. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you worked for PETA. What a pussy. Phil to Alan. Hey, what's your password? Hey, Phil. Yeah? No, that's it. What? That's my password. Hey, Phil. I may change my password to that.
He's like, it actually is.
And this is my favorite line in the entire movie because it's friggin' true. And I used to think this way a lot, but not so much anymore, but I used to. This is Stu upon arriving in Las Vegas. Someone needs to burn this place to the ground. I used to agree with that very, very much. I hated Vegas when I first moved out here. Um,
I mean, they don't call it Sin City for nothing.
yeah, it was not a. Yep, I saw it at a pornography,
I
and then Alan breaking up with Mr.
don't know why
Chow.
that's so funny, but it is.
Porno
I
hyphen graphy,
I've seen this
pornography.
in a pornography.
And then Alan breaking up with Mr. Chow when we're together, bad things happen and people get hurt. Yeah, that's the point. It's funny. See, Mr. Chow is not grown, but Alan has. I want the where is it's a lot of stuff. Uh, it's a lot of it repeating. Um, yeah, it's weird that they don't have on here. Maybe I skipped it. That the opening lines of how they have to miss the wedding. Okay, and then let's quickly just look at some movies that were shot out here. Let me know if you've seen them. But we're gonna start 1960 with Ocean's 11 with the Rat Pack, the original Sinatra movie. Have you seen it?
I have not.
What about the incredibly strange creatures that stopped living and became mixed up zombies? That's 1964.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yes.
That long of a title?
The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies. Yes. It's a
I
Ray
don't know.
Dennis
I did
stickler
not,
film.
but now with that long of a title, I kind of want to see this now.
Machine Gun Kelly, 1969. How about Diamonds Are Forever, James Bond?
I have seen that. I've seen almost every James Bond movie.
Okay,
There's a
that'd be
couple I
the
haven't seen.
that's the last Sean Connery. The
Yeah.
Gambler with James Caan. That's 1974.
I have not seen that one.
Godfather Part 2, 1974.
I've seen. Did I see the whole thing? I've always seen bits and pieces of The Godfather. I need to watch the entire trilogy.
Yes, you do. You need to see all three, even Part 3.
I do. I've seen all of them like bits and pieces. So I probably have seen all three movies like completely, but I just gotta sit down and just watch them from beginning to end the whole way to really appreciate them.
Yes, it's a great
So
trilogy, even Part 3.
yeah,
History of the World Part 1, which is Mel Brooks.
I have not seen that.
How about Things Are Tough Are All Over with Cheech and Chong?
I'm not sure. I might have seen that one.
Okay. Megaforce, 1982. It's like a really bad kind of sci-fi movie with Barry Bostwick. I love it. I've seen it like several times.
I
I'm going
haven't
to
seen
guess
it.
no on that one. Now, this is
No.
one you've definitely seen. Rocky 3, 1982.
Yes, I have.
I'm skipping a lot. So how about Starman, the John Carpenter movie? 1984.
I have not. No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Rocky 4, 1985.
That was in Vegas, really? They shot that?
Yeah, because remember the ending fight is Vegas. I'm sorry, the fight with not Rocky. I should say ending fight, but the Creed fight, Apollo Creed is in Vegas.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was in Vegas. Okay,
Yeah.
that's then
Uh,
what fight was in three?
3. Sometimes they list what it is. They don't list Rocky 3. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but it
Okay,
does.
we'll figure
Um,
that out later.
1986 is Heat with Burt Reynolds.
No, I haven't seen that one.
How about Rain Man, 1988 with Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise?
Yes, I've seen that one.
Okay.
Been a
How
long
about
time, but I've seen it.
it's a good film. How about
Yes.
another 48 Hours? Eddie
No,
Murphy, Nick Nolte,
no.
Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. It's with Don Johnson and Mickey Rourke,
There's a lot of
1991.
movies I still need to watch, man. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I'll go through them. But I'm not going to say them all. So there's like Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, Cool
I have
World.
seen that one.
Okay. Cruel World is with Brad Pitt. Honeymoon in Las Vegas. That's got Mr. Nick Cage. Best of the Best 2. The Good Son, which has Macaulay
I
Culkin.
have
Say,
seen that one. That
okay.
was the. I'll tell you, that was the one that made me hate Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Makes me
Uh,
want to punch him in the face.
Saved by the Bell, Wedding in Las Vegas. That I've seen. Casino. That's 1995. That's Scorsese. Leaving Las Vegas, Nicolas Cage. So another Nicolas Cage one in Las Vegas. Leprechaun 3, Showgirls, Mars
Mhm.
Attacks, Swingers, Vegas Vacation, another Nicolas Cage in Vegas, Con Air, Austin Powers. You've seen that one.
Yes, I have.
Yep, and that's now two for what's her face for Heather Graham for Las Vegas. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Johnny Depp, Lethal Weapon 4. It says minor role. The I 215, when unopened, doubled as a Los Angeles freeway. So one of the
Okay.
freeways of Lethal Weapon 4 was actually in Vegas. Baby Geniuses, the movie
I
Go
have.
by Doug Liman, Memento, Pay It Forward, Cowboy Up, 300 Miles to Graceland, which also has Kurt Russell, who has played Elvis, Rush Hour 2, remake of
Seen
Ocean's
Rush Hour.
11, The Mexican, American Sweetheart, Brown Bunny, The Cooler, which is a great movie, uh, Dodgeball, a true underdog story,
That's a great movie.
Ocean's 12, Miss Congeniality 2, Domino, which I really like, Rocky Balboa, Mandalay Bay and Casino was used in that one. Alpha Dog, Ocean's 13, Knocked Up, Country for Old Men, 3 Days to Vegas, which has Peter Falk in it. These are like the old guys who go to Vegas. Iron Man,
Okay.
21, What Happens in Vegas, Dolan's Cadillac, which is Stephen King, The Hangover, Get Him to the Greek, I'm Still Here. This is not a movie. Hostel 3.
I've seen.
Uh,
Have I seen Hostel 3? I'm not
it,
sure, but I
if you
think
haven't, it's not good. I didn't like it. Um,
I've only
uh,
seen the first two. Now that I think about it.
Hangover Part 3, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Okay.
That's why is it not listing a freaking actor? I can't think of his name. Um Step Up, All In. Now we're getting into Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2.
I've
Wild
seen the
Card
first one.
with
I've only seen the second one.
Jason Statham, which is directed by Simon West, the same guy who did Con Air. Jason Bourne, the newest one of those, and
Uh,
an Army of the Dead. I don't know how much of that was actually shot here, but it does take place in Vegas. So
okay.
that's that's
I
pretty
have
much
not seen
everything I
Army
got.
of the Dead, so I can't say anything about it.
Zack Snyder, but I did not like it. Maybe I need to watch it again.
I've heard a lot of people. I've heard a lot of mixed opinions about that one. I heard a lot of people said it was good, and then other people say it's hot garbage.
I'm
I
right
have
now
no
at hot
opinion on it
garbage.
because I didn't watch it. So
Yeah. So that's all I got. You got anything?
that's it, man. I mean, The Hangover is a great trilogy. I enjoyed all three of them. If you guys haven't watched them, if you're not a sensitive snowflake, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, but if you're not a sensitive
Oh, I
snowflake,
am.
please go watch it. Huh?
I am.
You're a
Enjoy
sensitive
life.
snowflake?
Stop being. No, I have no problem insulting, snowflakes. So
Oh,
yeah, no, I am not an insensitive snowflake. I can take humor. So
exactly.
that's
It's like people, it's comedy. It's not supposed to be taken serious.
no,
And if it offends you, that's probably because it was meant to. I mean,
no. I
if
like Dave
you
Chappelle.
listen
What can
to
I
any
say?
comedian, they will say, if you get offended, then I did my job right.
There you go. See, and I can even right now just put these right back where they go. They go right here.
There you
There you
go.
go.
So every
There's
video
there's
you
my stuff.
watch of every video you guys watch of John Ward, they're going to be sitting right there, staring you right in the face, saying, "Ha! You're offended. Ha!"
Oh, this is like this much of my collection. That's
Oh, I know. Trust me.
yeah.
I have so much. I live in a small apartment, so I cannot put my collection out. So when I get my own house, trust me. I told my wife I'm getting a whole room dedicated just to movies, and I'm gonna have the wall, nothing but movies, but one place for TV.
That's pretty much what I got. It is I used to have posters and paintings, and now I just have bookshelf after bookshelf with
Bookshelves and
movies.
bookshelves.
So yeah. So
So,
all right. Well, cool. And we might as well let people know our next video is going to be The Thing.
the thing.
The Thing, the original Thing from Another World, and then John Carpenter's Thing, and then Thing remake prequel. So we're going to be talking about all three of those.
Remake prequel? That was just a prequel. Prequel to the thing. John
It
Carpenter.
it's technically a remake prequel. They it's the same movie, but it's a
I
prequel.
mean, yeah, but it's like, aren't they telling the story of like what happened at the other base and why they started chasing the dog? And then it
Mm-hmm.
basically kind of goes into
It does.
where they see the helicopter chasing the dog and shooting it down, and they shoot the helicopter down.
It does. But
Spoiler
it's
alert, everybody! I haven't seen the thing.
so it's let's see. Is the remake of The Thing a remake or a reboot? Kind of a weird way to put it, but
according to IMDb, The producers convinced Universal Studios to allow them to create a prequel to John Carpenter's The Thing instead of a remake, as they felt Carpenter's film was already perfect, so making a remake would be like painting a mustache on the Mona Lisa.
There we go. So it is. It's considered as a prequel, not a remake.
So it's pretty much a prequel.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Cool deal.
okay. All right. So that's what we'll do. So we'll do original, remake, prequel. There we go. Now I said it correctly.
There you go.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching this. We appreciate it. Go watch the Hangover trilogy and enjoy its political incorrectness.
Like them.
That's right. I could.
If you don't like
I already put mine away, so I can't do that unless I want to go grab them out again. But that's okay. You did it, so that's what counts. All right, everybody. I will talk to you soon. Donald will talk to you soon. We'll both talk to you soon next month sometime. And guess that's it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Bye. Bye.
See you guys.
Welcome to the Muppet Show. Bye.